Look at that.
Well, it worked. And there's
worked.
Ryan on Facebook too. And I know that Instagram's working. Yay! Hello, everybody.
That's actually really your catch call.
Yay.
You're surprised that it works every week.
I know.
Every week it works and you go, yay!
I think I get excited that we're seeing people.
We're not seeing people.
That's more my thing.
He's more fun if we could see them all.
Yeah, I know. Hello, T. Hello, Rosa. Leslie.
Hey, gang.
What's
There's
going
a familiar
on?
group.
So we're not cooking tonight. Hope you're all here to
No,
see
got the
our
night off. Well, we haven't got the night off.
special guest.
We'll cook after this.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to do a sous vide chicken.
Tonight?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
God love you. There you go.
Got that, what was that chicken that we got?
Ryan, we're good. Thank you.
Less than half price chicken.
Huh.
It's already marinated in finger lime.
Rose is saying Insta not working for her. It's saying that it's live for me. So hopefully I can only do what I can do.
Well, I hope you guys have all had a good week. Sorry. And thanks for coming on Thursday night. And
Yes. How exciting.
Adam had a paid job and he's nice enough to chat to us. So you can't blame him for
Exactly.
having to move it a little bit.
Can I tell you where he was, the lucky bugger? He was at the State of Origin. So,
Tough gig.
and I know, right?
Yeah, but he's probably working his butt off instead of...
No, he was hosting a table. So he was like social man, not cooking.
Oh.
Yeah, like heaps of fun. But having said that, is that KFC chicken?
Is what KFC chicken? No.
Phil Candy, you cheeky bugger. It's proper chicken.
Phil Candy, some of your butter will be going in it, let me tell you. Finger lime, bush spices and chilli. But I'm going to cryovac it and then sous vide it and then mix it through. You'll be surprised, San Remo pasta.
Exactly right. So, having said that, nice segue, we should have
Wasn't meant to be.
our Chef Adam in the background. Now, I'm concerned that he hasn't got his camera turned on yet.
Ooh.
So, hopefully, he will. Yes, here he comes. I'm going to do it again. I can feel it.
She'll go, yay!
Coming.
Right, we've got to get this camera right.
Oh, yeah.
We have to make room for Adam. Well, going the wrong way.
Wrong way. That's us.
So we can probably just do it like that. No, you want to be in it?
You're hilarious. So, I'm not seeing him.
I know.
Don't know. Oh, here we go.
On air.
Volume. How about, oh no, shouldn't have to invite, he should be there. I've got your
Hear it
volume.
sound.
We just don't
Heard
have,
shuffling.
we don't have your vision, mate. So
Let's have a look.
hopefully, have you got your little camera?
I do. Little camera good. Yes. Come on, camera.
Working beautifully. How well organised were we this afternoon?
Oh, it was pretty good this Arvo. Hey, we jinxed ourselves.
Always the way. The magic of television, we always say.
Oh, I know.
Hey, John, how are you, mate? We're just trying to get Adam in and happening.
Courtney's watching on Insta and Facebook, so that means we're good. Thanks, Court.
Awesome, Courtney.
She's
Thank
always
you.
looking out for us.
That's really good.
John says, g'day. G'day, John. How are you, mate?
Hey,
There he is.
look who it is.
Hey, guys. How are we?
It's Mr. Adam Swanson. Good to
There
see
you
you,
go, gang.
mate.
Here he is, the man himself.
You too?
Absolutely. Now, it's a long time no see, really, for you and I, because we do go back a long way, and not romantically. So,
We'll talk about that later. We did.
well, we do have a love for food. So, back to the old days of Ready, Steady, Cook. And
Yeah.
who didn't love Ready, Steady, Cook? And still even now, you meet people, you'd be the same. You meet people talk about Ready, Steady. Oh, I used to love watching Ready, Steady, Cook.
100%. You know, from mums to dads to school kids, to uni students, everybody loved Ready Steady Cook. It's just that show that 2 to 3, you sit down, if you're having a break or something, you just get some ideas for dinner.
I know.
And it was always fun. Everyone was always happy.
And it was true, yeah, it was true. Hey, the mystery bag was there. It wasn't fudged. Come on, you guys can say this.
Oh, I know that 100%, and that's what we got asked. And like I said, I told people the rundown of, they ask you what foods you want to have and all that sort of stuff. And of the 5 ingredients, 2 were ingredients that I'd asked for that, they say, what is it that you want to learn how to cook? Now, mine was pork. I was terrible at cooking pork.
I'm glad you remember, because I got no idea.
Oh, man.
You probably did it a few more times than Jodie-Anne.
A little bit, but the older I get, I'm, like a sieve. Everything's just floating through.
Through. The pork that you did with fennel seeds, you smashed it all up in a mortar and pestle, rolled it in it, and then pan fried it. It's making my mouth water now talking about it. It was mouth watering, and I'd always overcooked pork. Yes. And the other one that we had was halloumi cheese. So, which now we last year were actually guests at the Halloumi Cheese Festival down in Melbourne. Yeah.
We were asked to create a recipe to do live on stage with halloumi. And like halloumi's not a real easy cheese to cook with because, the buggers have got it sorted. They know how to cook it really well as the way what they do now. So to come up with something new, we actually did a pretty good job, I must say.
We did. We were so nervous.
Because afterwards it gets real squeaky and a little bit chewy and chalky.
Yeah. But you know what? We were cooking with super fresh halloumi. They were doing...
They made it on the day.
Yeah, they were doing ricotta samples and all sorts of stuff.
We did
pistachio nut.
Yep. What's the Australian herb that we love?
We did...
Szechuan pepper.
Yeah, that's not Australian though. We did a lemon. Isn't that terrible? It's completely fabulous.
See, you're talking about a sieve.
All right.
We actually did them in a shallow fried
wonton wrapper.
Wonton wrapper.
Oh yeah, that's different.
So the cheese, the pistachio, all come together and was sort of sweet and
it's really
actually
yummy.
Come up really good. We were pretty happy with that one. We should rekindle that.
Yeah. It was super nice. Yeah. But totally overwhelming to be 2 Australians to be asked along to the Greek Cypriot yearly festival to cook with their cheese.
And they're such lovely, happy, friendly people. It was.
And you know what? I know because my wife is Greek and all my in-laws obviously are Greek. So I know what that means. You guys have been accepted. You're now a Greek.
Yes.
Well, the festival at the end, we got to crush the grapes. We were on stage. And
any ouzo or what?
Well, on the Sunday, at 11 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
We were on the ouzos because you can't say no, can you?
No, you never say no. That's a Greek.
Oh, my God. And I love the stuff. Now, tell me, that's got to be straight ouzo in a glass, doesn't it?
No, that's water. This one is just, just keeping myself hydrated at the moment after last night. That's all right.
Beautiful. So now you were saying about your wife's side of the family leads into the very first question, really, about your heritage, because like we said to Richo, Adrian Richardson's not very Italian. No. Adam Swanson's not very Italian either, or Greek or anything.
No, so if you go rewind, so my mum obviously is Italian. She's from Naples, and my mother's maiden name is Di Nardo. So we come from an area in Naples called Castellamare di Stabia. So it's a beautiful, right near Mount Vesuvio, amazing, really, really nice. So mum came across when she was 6, my grandparents and her sister, and then obviously settled in Adelaide. And then as things progressed and everything else, and you were talking about cheese, that's how I was brought up. So my grandparents used to make ricotta, mozzarella, bocconcini, formaggio, provolone. So I grew up in a cheese business. So pause a bit there. Mum meets
they made it as a business.
Yeah. Wait, this mum meets dad. So mum meets an Aussie boy, tall, skinny Aussie boy, and obviously things start to hit off. And my nonno says to my father, "Well, look, if you like, you got to sort this out, and get married. You need to learn the family business." So my dad gave up his job and basically became a cheesemaker.
Wow.
Yeah. We're talking a guy that left school at 10 years of age.
Wow.
Yeah. So the teacher, my dad tells me this story all the time. The teacher said, "Swanson, it's best you go get a job at 10.
Oh
you imagine that today? Like my daughter's 11. Like, what the hell?
Oh my God. So what did he do at 10?
So 10, he just went out and just went around, just odd jobs here, there, whatever he could at 10 years of age. He did a bit of sign writing with my uncle. And then he did some interesting jobs. He went up to Catherine and did some things, went all over the place. And then obviously met mum. And then, the romance began.
Jeez. You're so lucky.
Jeez.
That's amazing. So then we go to.
How did you get your first transition into? When did cooking become your?
There's more. There's more. All right, I'm gonna go through the lot. You ready? Sit back, relax, and enjoy. So, mum meets dad. Italian obviously meets the Aussie. Yes, gets married, and you talk about KFC before, right, mate? So my parents' wedding day, what did they have for food? They had KFC, buckets of KFC down the table, all right, and then pasta as well, of course. There's always pasta around in an Italian wedding, and so obviously things progress. My brother was born first. So I have an older brother. Then I came along. So we used to get bought. So basically, my parents would get up at 2 a.m. to get to the factory to make the cheese to get it started. So they'd wake us up, me and my brother, drive us to my grandparents about 25 minutes away, and then put us back to bed. And then we'd get up in the morning. Nonna would be there, make us some breakfast. She'd make things like zabaglione, which is basically the egg yolks with the sugar and then a little bit of masala. So, get your heart started in the morning, be eating. 10-year-old, feel good. So then the delivery driver would take us to school. So we didn't have a normal upbringing. Do I regret how I was brought up? No way in the world, because obviously taught me how my parents gave me every opportunity to be where I am today, and worked their asses off to give me those opportunities. So it's a lot of respect. But growing up in a cheese factory, if you can imagine, Mick, right? So my nonna was like he was the cheese Nazi. You know what I mean? Like his name was Luigi. So my son's named after him, Louis, L-O-U-I-S. And people would come in and say, Luigi, give me the fresh. Everything's fresh, and he'd swear in Italian, tell them where to go. So he was known for this, but I would always pinch a fresh mozzarella. Now, if you ever get a bocconcini mozzarella fresh, hot, it is like elastic, guys. It just stretches. It's so soft, it's so delicious. And I'm lucky enough, obviously, to have that experience and experience it again in Italy with the buffalo mozzarella a few times and take some classes over it. It's just amazing. So passion for food was always there. But I had a career in footy, in Aussie rules. Yeah, not in that rugby where I was last night in the AFL.
The proper one.
Yeah, the good one. I was growing way too fast. The body was just sprouting up too much and had problems with my knee. So my mum broke too many bones at 17, threw my boots in the bin. And I said, you know what, I'm out of school. I want to become a chef. That was it. So growing up, my nonna would get up real early in the morning on Sundays to do the family dinner, or family lunch, I should say. So I would stay over and I'd get up with her 2, 3 in the morning because she liked peace and quiet. So nobody could bother her. So I'd sit in that kitchen, I'd just watch, as a young kid, just watch her cooking, tasting, put my finger in things, falling back to sleep, get up again, try again. Do you know what I mean? So it was always there in the background. So I guess, when mum threw the boots away, that was it. That was on. It was, 17, I started my career as a chef.
Wow. So because I am an AFL nut, were you possibly going to you said career in AFL? You could have possibly been playing for your beloved Eagle.
You're pretty tall.
I was a giraffe and still is a giraffe, you know what I mean? So I had long legs, so there was a different career there if I wanted it, but the body was just too growing way too fast, and knees weren't keeping up, and I just broke way too many bones. I think I probably did a bone every season from 12 minutes.
At that age too.
Well, just think your career would be over by now, and you're well into your late.
Yeah, look, you know what? Everything happens for a reason. That's what I believe. So, that finished and another door opened. So, the cooking world became my love and still is as today. So I love it.
That's awesome. So where was your first job at 17? Because you've obviously...
So around 16, obviously things were going wrong with my body and all this. So I started to do basically in my school holidays, I'd do 2 weeks. Obviously we had 2 weeks off. So I'd do anywhere for free. Just work for free labour at the butcher. Went to the bakery, did with the baker, got up at 2 a.m. Dad would drop me off on the way going to work so I could, make the bread with him. Went to the fruit and veg shop. Went to a local all-you-can-eat to do all-you-can-eat stuff like wings and all those terrible things like that. You know what I mean? Like fast food stuff. So I just worked wherever I could just to get my hands on and understand what the food world is. You know what I mean? When I first started, I wanted to be a pastry chef. I love cakes. I've got a big sweet tooth, and that's the Swanson side of things. Right. And my daughter takes on that as well now. She's very good in the kitchen.
Yeah, right.
So 16, where I started, then 17, I went into it was a pre-vocationary course, so 6 months, where you learn obviously all your basics, your knife skills, your stocks, your soups, your sauces, all those type of things. Yeah. And then I had to go and find an apprenticeship. So I was lucky enough 3 months later to find an apprenticeship, and then I started. So 17, I'm now 41. So you do the sums, guys.
So as an apprentice, how was your boss chef?
Mate, you want me to tell you the truth? You ready?
Yeah,
You
of
want
course.
the truth?
We always get the truth, and it's quite amazing.
There's none of this shit today, let me tell you. All right. Today is a different world we live in. I understand that, what we're living in, COVID and everything else. But it was old school. It was very old school. You learn respect real fast. You know, as an apprentice chef, I'd be in the corner, and I'm not going to say his name, but I still respect him for this. I don't have any hate. It's a respect level. I'd be making a salad, and literally within a second, there'd be a lemon in the back of my head saying, hurry up, get that. Move. And that's what it was, you know what I mean? And then today, yes, you do that, you'll be on the front page, you'll be everywhere. Do you know what I mean?
I know.
Was it right? Was it wrong? Well, there's many different answers to that, but for me, it taught me the respect, you know. And then he would be, you know, get over here and serve this pasta, hurry up now, and the handle would have been on the flame. And I'd pick up that handle, and you just fill your hand, and you'd look at me and go, don't you drop that, don't you drop that. And because it just taught you that you got to be stronger and don't drop it.
Why didn't you use your cloth to grab the handle?
No. When you're 17, you yes, chef. Whatever you want. You know, 3 bags full.
Yeah.
It's amazing how many old school chefs we talk to that exactly that. They were brought up by tough chefs, but they're the
successful ones.
They're all successful ones, you know.
Yeah, Richo was the same.
Shane's the same.
Manu
talks the same.
Oh my goodness, his stories were unbelievable. He worked for 2 years under an alcoholic. Basically, he said the man was drunk from morning till
drunk
night.
and abusive.
Yep. And he said, but I learned so much because I had no option. And then he went to work for his dad, who I don't know how.
Collins would have to be nasty.
I don't know. Colin Bastage. Colin's a big softy. He doesn't like anyone knowing that he's a big softy, but he is. Yeah.
No, I was going to say that. No, look, I think at the end of the day, you know, and it's something obviously how they've been taught. And like I said today, yes, it's a different world that we live in, but it does teach you truly the respect in the kitchen. You know what I mean? And it's something that, you know, people think, yes, we do TV and all this type of stuff. It's glam, you get in, it's, you know, airy fairy, everything's beautiful. It's not. You know, you go into reality, into a kitchen, you're doing 15-hour days.
Yep.
Yeah, you're backing them up multiple days in a row.
Yep.
So you don't do it unless you love it.
Yeah.
And every dish has to be perfect. Otherwise,
100%.
I always remember the bad ones.
Yeah. And you know, you got to learn. You got to learn how to take criticism. You got to learn how to, you know, evolve, to grow. And I've definitely done that throughout my career. You know, like when you're chasing the stars, you're chasing the accolades and all that type of stuff, and putting 17 different components on the plate. And then when you get a little bit older and you start to become a bit more refined, you think simplicity is the best. You cook what's in season and keep it 4 or 5 max ingredients.
Yeah.
So does that bring us to what you're doing now then? Because
yes, it does. Yeah, I've obviously had a colourful career, and I've been proud of it. You know, I had Zucca for 15 years down at Glenelg, which won multiple awards. We were best Greek in Australia. Took out over Mr. Kalambaris, you know, which is a nice little accolade to do. Being Italian, having the best Greek restaurant, it's very interesting. We always
amazing.
Yeah. But you know, from there, then I opened a very high-end modern Italian restaurant. Which only lasted 5 years. Got out of that. I did a stint in Sydney for 2 years and opened up Lot 1, which really taught me a lot of things, met some amazing people. You know, when someone says to you, do you want to come be the executive chef for $6.5 million fit-out restaurant? 3 levels, 3 different bars. We ran with 4 different menus. We ran in a tiny galley kitchen. You know, like my pastry chef would start at 3 in the morning. Sometimes I would fly out from Adelaide literally just to host the table because we had a private dining room for 20 people where I'd host them. Stay up all night, wouldn't go to my apartment, just bam, meet my pastry chef, get on the 6 a.m. and fly home.
Wow.
Yeah, so you know, like it's definitely it can be fun.
Yeah,
well, I think like you're saying, like a lot of people we talk to, you know, the likes of Manu, yourself, who had those really tough bosses, it probably weeds out the people who haven't got a really deep passion for it because they go, oh, I'm walking. Whereas the people who stay around and put up with that have obviously got a real passion for it, and therefore you can't help yourself. You just love food, you know, whether it's good for your career or not. You just have a passion. You want to do it.
Yeah.
You know, I'll sum it up real easy. My wife thinks I have a problem because I think about food too much. I think, all right, tonight we've had dinner, we had fillet steak. What's tomorrow for breakfast? What's for lunch? What's this? What are you doing on the weekend? How many people come in? What am I doing? Like, that's where the mind goes. You know what I mean?
Yep. Constantly food. That's me.
That's what Jodie-Anne's like.
A dreamer.
Yeah. I actually had a question that I was thinking that I do like to ask people, which I've got out of a few of them. But when you're not cooking and not thinking about food and buying food, what does Adam like to go and do?
You know what? I love to run. I'll be honest with you. Running, saying in the morning, and it's been a few weeks now. I've had a little bit of an injury, courtesy of a nice long weekend away in the Clare Valley region, doing a bit of it's called the Riesling Trail. So you get on pushies and you ride all the way through all the different wineries. And probably too many vinos in, and I had a little bit over the handlebars accident. So,
right. Let's go. That's our kind of accident.
yeah. So I can say that honestly, but running is one of the things that obviously clears the brain and clears the mind. You know, it's I go down because I live close to the beach and just do a quick 5K run in the morning, and it's all about getting to the other end and getting back and having a coffee with my mate, and then starting the day. So yeah.
Yeah, that's not a bad way to start your day. I do a similar thing, but it's on a ride-on mower. You know, just to clear my brain. I enjoy that time to myself. Someone likes to talk a lot, and I find it's nice and quiet, and I can think.
Yeah, totally understand. I get it. If you see my lawn, you could probably do it in about 3.5 seconds, don't you?
We got about
you probably burn a lot more calories doing it your way too.
Yeah, for sure. Now, listen, I've got a question from one of our very, very good followers, Matt Latonwa. He's an Instagram and Facebook guy.
And a great cook.
He's amazing. He's only just sort of gotten into cooking, but he posts his food and he's doing a really good job of
great
stuff.
Job.
We love Matt. And he has said, as you're the famed king of pasta, as you are, segue.
San Remo pasta. Well,
the king.
Everyone knows this. This is actually out.
Yes, there she is. That's the thing.
I'm actually going to sous vide chicken and put it with pasta. I wasn't lying, people.
It's my favourite.
Yeah, we're doing with the pasta. Are you just going to toss in a bit of butter and cheese, or what are we doing? No,
we're going to do butter, and we'll work out the cheese as we go. It's actually already marinated because it's going to be in the sous vide bag. I'm going to keep all the finger lime juice and everything in the sous vide bag.
You might as well take that and drop that through the pasta. Nice.
Exactly. Leftover juice will be stirred through the pasta. Then add that chicken afterwards. Be beautiful.
Yep.
Oh,
so
maybe some roasted pine nuts because I love them. But
he does like the old pine nuts. As you are Mr. San Remo, we should call you really. What is your favourite all-time pasta you enjoy making? Have you got one? I couldn't do one.
Yeah, it's hard. I'll be honest. It's really, really hard. Obviously, I was very fortunate and still am within my travels, but not at the moment, with San Remo taking me to Italy. There's one place in particular, okay? It's about 3 hours out of Rome. It's called Amatriciana, which is where the pasta comes from, Amatriciana.
Right.
So Amatriciana is the guanciale, the cured pig's cheek, right? Which we cure with pepper and obviously chili on the bottom. So we're talking it's in the hills, in the mountainside. It's where they obviously have sheep, and pecorino comes from as well. So you fry this beautiful guanciale. It's really slowly in a real low temperature, obviously, pan. So the fat renders out and all the flavor. And then you just throw in some fresh tomatoes, or if you make your own sugo. And it's typically served with bucatini, which is the spaghetti with the hole through the middle.
Beautiful.
All right. So a little bit more chili, and away it goes. You toss, finish your pasta in there, and fresh pecorino on the top is just unbelievable. Like, it's one of those ones. But then there's one more, because I need to teach people this. And this is something, people say, you get paid to do this. But it's not even about that. It's because I do actually love pasta. I do love the product. So it's I'm very lucky to be working with this company, but it's carbonara. Yeah, carbonara, traditional carbonara has no cream, no milk. Yeah. Egg, exactly right. And it all came about when the Americans came into Rome. So the American soldiers came into Rome, and obviously these old Italian ladies were there. And they said, we want bacon and eggs. And the old Italian, they said, Mom, he cuts of bacon and eggs. So they understood eggs. They said the pig. Yep, got the pig. So they fried off the pancetta or the guanciale. And then obviously cooked the pasta. So they're frying this off. They had eggs. They mixed eggs, add some cheese, as we do in Italy. And then they folded it through. And there you go. And then they said chili. So we didn't understand chili. Pepper on top, and that's how you get carbonara.
Even that's made me feel hungry.
Now I feel like I need to cook it exactly like that now.
You need to, guys. I love it. I absolutely love carbonara.
And there it is. You're talking about one of your favourite pastas, simple.
Yeah, simple, 4 ingredients. Yeah, 4 ingredients, and just execute
17 herbs and spices and stuff. It's so easy for the simple cook to just put 5 to 8 ingredients in a beautiful dish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think in particular with pasta, obviously through the 70s and 80s, it was a staple for so many families in Australia, households, that it was the bolognese. Get some cheap mince, chuck some carrots and onions, whatever's around, just throw it in with some sauce, terrible sauce. But
Yeah.
I understand it was there for a reason. But if you go back and learn about bolognese and do it properly, and obviously from Bologna, it's actually finished with milk. So guys, next time you make your bolognese, just a little splash of milk into your sauce right at the end, and watch what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It takes it to the next level. Just it really enriches it and gives this beautiful velvety finish on your palate.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. There you go. There's
So
a hint for everyone.
So hungry.
Now, there's actually a second part to that question there, Adam. If you're making a pasta, so the pasta itself from scratch, have you got any big tips?
Tips is obviously keep your eggs out at room temp. Obviously use the right flour. Take your time. If you make a mistake, it's okay. We're always learning. In the kitchen, there's no right or wrong, I say to my chefs, unless they make big mistakes and they're in trouble. But it's you know, you're learning. You're constantly learning, yeah? So you just got to take your time with the pasta, allow it to rest, and then put it through, obviously, the pasta machine and take your time. Yeah, that's the only things I can say.
Yeah. Good
So
stuff.
in a pasta recipe, are you a dash of olive oil or no?
No.
No? Are you a dash of, is there salt always in pasta when you make it
Oh,
or no?
always. There's always salt, there's always eggs, there's always flour and some water, obviously, yeah.
You favour yolks over the whole eggs in your pasta recipe.
Yes,
Yes.
mate. Yes.
There
There you go, guys. You just got some great tips there. That's fantastic. Thank you.
Absolutely.
What
So
else have we got?
Ryan had said what inspired you to get into cooking, and we know now that. So that's all good. So Jade Fraser from Facebook, how did you become a chef on Ready Steady Cook?
Okay, so this is interesting. Obviously, when I started out my relationship with San Remo and became an ambassador, they said to me, "Oh, have you had any experience in TV? You know, doing TV commercials, anything like that?" I said, "No. Look, end of the day, I cook for a living. People come into my restaurant, I cook food, I watch them eat it, and I enjoy it." So they said, "Okay, no worries. Obviously, we do a few different things where we sponsor some shows, yada yada." I said, "Okay, no worries." That was it, really. I didn't think much of it. And my wife was pregnant with my daughter, my second child, and we literally just had my daughter, she's 11 now, and I got a phone call 2 days after she was born from Channel 10, the producers from Ready Steady Cook, and they said, "Oh, hi Adam, we're blah blah blah, producers, da da da. We're going to fly to Adelaide and we're going to meet a few chefs and we would like to do a bit of reenactment in your kitchen, if that's okay. And we'll bring a cameraman and bring the mystery bag and all these type of things." I said, "Oh." And my wife said to me, you got to do it, 100%. I said, "Yeah, no problems. Yeah, fantastic. Just had a newborn." I'm thinking, yeah, whatever, got to do it.
Yeah.
So, stoked, obviously. And then they rang me back the next day and they said, "Oh, no, you know what? There's not many others in Adelaide, and I'm not being big-headed, but we want to fly you to Sydney and do it on set." And I was like, "Oh," and our heart's starting to jump. I said so now my daughter's 4 days old, and my wife goes, "Go, you just got to go." So I rang up a couple of mates and I said, "All right, boys, a bit of a boys' trip. I need some support. We're going to Sydney for the night." I had a couple of mates living up there.
Yep.
Well, I remember rolling into Channel 10, all right, and you go through the security and all this, and you're just like, "Oh man, what is this? What is this?"
That's it.
Oh my God.
The host doing the news, Natasha, I forget her surname. I'm just like, "Oh yeah, all right, this is starstruck." All right. Anyway, and they go, "Yep, go over there, get changed, get in your, in your whites. Yep, no problems." And then, obviously I did my thing and must have done something right because, so many years later I was doing it. So what? Can't remember how many years I did, how many seasons, but it was a great show. And what it taught me, I guess, in early part of my career in the TV world and everything is meeting all these amazing people like Manu, George, Calumbaris, Gary as well, and just getting to know them.
Alistair, remember Alistair?
Yeah, Alistair. Oh, yeah, Lewis. Don't worry about him, mate. Don't worry. He's definitely got the small man syndrome, but it's all good. It's all right. I love him. I can say that because, he used to keep a count. He'd say, "How many times I beat your ass, you little," he'd say these things. I'm like, "Yeah, no worries." And it was only like to our second, third year, because being the new boy, and I remember my first episode, I said to my wife again, I said, "You know what? It'd be good if I got Manu for my first episode." And what happened? I got Manu.
Oh my God.
Here comes the Frenchman, this and that.
Oh yeah.
Here we go, Jesus. Here we go. All right, and I remember I burnt my dessert, and I remember the food producer going, "Adam, bad luck, you just got to serve that." And I'm like, "What the fuck? I want to do this." So I'm scraping the shit off, trying to cover a bit of icing sugar on top, make it look nice. And I did it, but he whipped me. He whipped my ass. He just did all the crowd was all for Manu. But it just, became friends. And because obviously it was from Adelaide, the boys would take me out, the Sydney side of chefs. take me
nice.
out for dinner, you know what I mean, which is really good. So you get that, you know, friendship and things like that. Maddie Galinsky, everyone, do you know what I mean? So it was awesome. It was a great.
I was living in Sydney at that time by then.
Yes, 100%. And then I met one of my good mates, which you know, Mr. Shane Delia, you know. So couple of Wog boys get together and, you know, things start to change on the set. And, we started to run amok. So great guy.
So my best friend, Nellie, Narelle Williamson, she'll be watching. She'll be on Instagram. So what happened with us, you know, you may not know. They say if you want to be on the show, you've got to come for an interview or what do you call it? You'd have to go along with, you know, 200 other people and line up and all that sort of stuff to see whether you're going to get on in Sydney. Now, of course, we live 3 hours out of Melbourne, and Mick and I had just started our business, and I wrote them back an email and I said, listen, we're not going to be able to do a come to Sydney thing. It's just not going to happen. How about I'll interview myself. Narelle will do the same. We'll send you a video.
Yeah.
So we sent them a video and they said, yep, no worries, you can be on, but we're not going to fly you here. You're going to have to pay your own way, stay over in Sydney. And exactly the same as you, Nellie and I thought, girls trip, yay, it was awesome. And on your questionnaire, they say, who do you want as your chef? Well, what girl doesn't want Manu? So I was Manu. And what I didn't know, what we do know now, he had left the show. You were new because we were on in July of 2009. Yeah,
someone thought it was born. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Yep. And so we filmed in July of 2009. Yeah. And then 10 years later, I'm sitting beside Manu.
Well, you couldn't have Manu because Manu was off starting a new TV show.
Yeah, which we didn't know anything about. And, of course, it was
MKR.
Had 3 letters in it. And 10 years later, the very first night of filming of MKR, I'm sitting beside Manu.
How's that?
It was absolutely random. And I told him the story, and I said I had Adam Swanson, you know, me being 5'3", and I always say you're 6'13". Is what I say. Actually, I might say 7'13", because you are enormous. And so Nellie, my best friend who can't cook, says to Shane, look, I'm here to help, but, you know, I don't really cook and I'm not that good. And they bloody won. They won.
Yeah.
And we had awesome food. And you know what? That bloody Shane, he did a dessert that looked like a martini. He put it in a martini glass.
Yeah, and you know, I learned all that. The years to come, right, going against them all, it was always about the dessert. You could do anything. 3 courses before could be amazing. It's a dessert. If you had a drizzle or something on fire or whatever it was, you're in.
Eat with your eyes.
And you know, we had a pomelo. You see, you'd dirty of citrus.
We've got nightmares, don't we?
Couldn't remember what the name of the bloody thing was, and again the floor producer's going, pomelo.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
Right, you two are reminiscing there.
We are, so.
Speaking of Narelle actually had a question. It's a little bit off the subject a little bit, but
doesn't matter.
We'll talk about your new business because it's a bit of a segue for you, I think, too. But how has COVID affected you and your business?
Or any of your business?
Look, you know, obviously the hospitality in particular throughout Australia has been hit. You know, we've been quite fortunate in SA compared to Melbourne and Sydney. But for me personally, my new shop, which is Cheeky Chook Eats, which is a chicken diner. So it's a new take on a chicken shop. Was only 9 months old. So when you start any business, 9 months in, you've got to make a call. And at that point, we didn't know, like everyone, we're just guessing what's going to come. What to do. So basically I just had to carve my staff in half, say goodbye to some really good people. And then I just basically worked 7 days a week for about 4.5 months straight, just to, you know, keep us going and keep evolving and changing the business. You know, I went from obviously a chicken diner to being a liquor shop. I had a liquor license, but then I could sell liquor. You could come in and buy bottles, and I could deliver you bottles, and everything was just chopping and changing every week. We had a dining room, which we could sit 30, which we lost.
Oh, wow.
You know, like, and one of the biggest things, I think, the hardest things that people need to understand and still don't, for our industry in particular, is the fighting, obviously, for ingredients and the cost of goods. You know, we're talking chicken in particular went 3 times up, you know, and as an owner of a shop, you know, you have to absorb that. But people, when you do try and bump the price up that touch, people get upset, you know. So, and things like packaging, you know, we're fighting because in Adelaide, and I guess everywhere else as well, every restaurant became a takeaway shop. Yeah, so everyone's gone, well, I need to survive, I need to do something. So everybody was, you know, every restaurant became takeaway. So it's definitely been challenging. What do you say? Look, you know, I'm fortunate to be in SA. You know what I mean? Like, you know, some of my guys, best mates like Shane, and that, you know, I've seen and know what he's been doing and trying to keep going. And then even I read something about how he's doing his Bond Street, the lane, and doing, you know, quick mezze style food because obviously the rules over there are different again. Man, I think it's been good and bad, this COVID.
Yeah, I agree with you as well. There's definitely good things coming out of it. Families have become closer together. You know, parents are spending more time with their children and stuff like that. Australians are starting to use more local produce because obviously we can't get it from overseas, which is going to be great for farmers long term, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully it makes us look at more Australian produce.
Yeah, and respect the product, you know what I mean? And respect why it may cost that extra $1 or whatever it may be. But there's a taste and there's a story and there's a reason behind it.
Yeah. And people have started to cook. You know, we know people now that were like, I never cooked.
It's probably the thing that's increased it more than ever is home cooking.
Yeah.
People start to play and take time with their food and
look, I think the biggest gripe for me, the biggest thing that gave me the shits was, you know, when my mates would come in and be like, I'm sick of being at home with the missus, you know. I'm like, they ain't complain to me. You know what I mean? Like if you're sitting there, you're a job keeper, get whatever, don't complain to me. Do you know what I mean? So that was always challenging. But end of the day, end of the night, you have a beer, you switch off.
I think that the teachers are going to get a much better rap these days because so many parents have had to homeschool.
Realise how much of a shit the kids are.
Teaching gig ain't easy, you know.
Yeah, look, I reckon that was positive. My son in particular loved it because, you know, obviously he was at home and my daughter too, but I would always, he'd do his work, whatever, log in, what he had to do, and then I'd come home during his lunch break, bit of b-ball for a half an hour and then back to the shop. So he loved it.
Oh, yeah, awesome. That's great for him. Yeah.
Cool.
I think that there'll be a lot of kids that may stay with homeschooling now.
Yeah, very true, very true. You know, but then I think they still need the interaction. Yeah, they still need to bump and grind, have little, you know, play fights, whatever, pull off the monkey bars, all that type of stuff, you know, like, you know, paint on the walls, whatever it is. They still need.
We met a couple of homeschool kids that weren't that well.
Yeah.
They didn't interact well with others.
We had Josh and Austin on MKR and they were homeschooling. They were very different.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like you take your puppy out to play with the other dogs so it learns how to play nicely with other dogs. It's been taken out to the park to play with other dogs.
Yeah.
Now we talked about your new venture. We'll call it a new venture. It's new.
Yeah.
That's a pretty big change for you. Like, what made you go chicken?
So, all right. So obviously when I was sold out of Zucker 15 years on, and that was on the tail end of me coming out of Sydney. And in Sydney, there's a great franchise up there called Chargill Charlie's, which is really, really awesome. You know, a chicken shop done right. And I, you know, you start to realize that it's not always about that glamour top end, having super bars, 300, 400 seater restaurants and things like that. And where my shop is, I live a couple of streets away, so it's super close. It's easy. I'm in and out, accessible wise. I mean, and the chicken world, I mean, it's something that's, you go to a chicken shop and you get the same boring old 4-bean mixed salad or, you know, dirty coleslaw or rice salad. We don't. We do everything ourselves. So, you know, we hand cut the chicken, we soak it in buttermilk for our fried chicken. Our rotisserie birds sit for 48 hours in the fridge drying before they actually get in the oven. So there's no MSGs, there's no preservatives. We're all natural. We do everything, you know, free range. Our salads, you know, we do turmeric roasted cauliflower, quinoa, smoked almonds, and pomegranate salads. I mean, like we're fresh, we're real. Do you know what I mean? So it's nice. It's nice, but it's also good because I'm not always stuck in the kitchen. It's very open, my shop. So everybody, you're on show 24/7. So my guys have got to be clean, prompt, and fast. But also you get to interact. Yeah, you get to have a chat, and that's what I love the most.
That's awesome. That's
well, we might have to fly over and come and have a taste of this.
Yeah, 100%. Let me know, no problems.
They won't let us in.
They won't know. You know.
Oh, yes.
I'm trying to get into you guys to do some filming, but I can't go anywhere. It looks like I'm off to Gold Coast and Brisbane in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, what are you going to be doing up there?
Open Homes Australia. So it's obviously a home show that I've been doing now for 3 years, and typically the past 2 years we've filmed in my kitchen at home. So just to the right of me is my kitchen, which I've set up as a full studio kitchen. But it's obviously the house, but I can at any point, family goes upstairs or kick him out, and I film for a day or two and do everything. So hardest thing is our sponsors have basically all based in Melbourne. So normally I film in Melbourne if I need to and this and that, so I can't get there. But it looks like I'm off to Bris Vegas in the Gold Coast.
Wow.
Wow.
Good on you. We can't go anywhere.
We can't go
No one
anywhere.
will let us in.
We certainly know
guys,
that.
I think it will change. I truly believe. I reckon by the end of the year. I think end of the year we're going to be all open. We need to learn to live with this, and we all need to help each other.
Yeah,
Yeah,
totally.
for sure.
And you know what? The rest of Australia has actually been really kind to Melburnians, particularly. My mum's just piped up saying I'm moving to Adelaide.
I saw that one there.
And yeah, the videos from celebrities and, you know, everyone saying hang in there and stuff. You know, we're in the country, so we haven't had it anywhere near as tough. And we're used to being home for 3 weeks at a time, aren't we? Because we're we've got a big veggie garden. We're quite self-sufficient where we are. But
Where are you,
so we're on the border. We're along the Murray River.
nice.
So the border of New South Wales and Victoria.
do you know
So-
Echuca?
Yeah, I've heard of that one. Yeah.
Echuca,
Okay,
yeah.
so Echuca, Moama Echuca is like one of those border towns where it's one town, but now divided by two because there's a bridge that, you know, you need passes to get over and things like that, which it's not too hard when you live locally, but, you know, it can be an hour and a half just to get across a bridge. It normally takes 30 seconds.
Yeah, so I came into Melbourne when it was the start of March to film Everyday Gourmet with Justine. I think this is when the pandemic and everything hit in Victoria. Because I filmed my first day and we did obviously 10 episodes over 2 days. And it was on the second ep. My wife works for Virgin. She said, get out. She's like, get on the flight, because you guys went into, I forget what it was, what you went into, the
Lockdown.
Yeah, full lockdown. So I got out, but then I came back. I came back in April to film Open Homes, and we went out into the Gippslands.
Yep.
So we went out to the Gippslands and we did 5 days. So I literally was in and out, but I was obviously very lucky enough to get back into Adelaide and didn't have to do the 14 days into lockdown. So, but look, beautiful. You know, it was the first time I've been out into rural Victoria, and
it's beautiful.
I absolutely loved it. It was fantastic.
It's
Where
really
we are,
nice.
like our little town, Surrumbury,
Yeah.
too much rum, Barry. It's easy to remember.
Surrumbury.
It's only got a population of 200, but we're
Yeah, nice.
tucked in.
Yeah.
We've got a pub, a roadhouse.
That's all you need.
You know, that's all you
That's
need.
it. And a great community. It's such
good
an
community.
awesome.
Big veggie garden community that you can always get fresh eggs. There's always meat around. We've got a great butchers up the road. So
Avocado farmer about 1 kilometre from here.
Yeah, well, that's why I love in Gippslands. They've got these farm gates where you go there. Obviously, you got all the produce from the local, you know, from the farm or whatever, and you pay for it. You know, there's like a honor system that you put your money in there. Some actually had their
a lot of that around.
yeah, like it was unreal. Like the produce I got, because obviously got to cook with it, was just awesome.
So you
Yeah.
don't have stuff like that where you are?
No, we have on the side of the road, you know, like saying, but there's always somebody sitting there, you know. We're a little bit old school, you know.
Yeah, no, we with
Drop
a lot
your
of our
money in.
driving, you know, whether it be north, south, east, west, you'll come across a lot of that.
Yeah.
And you can't help but stop it. You go, oh, I've got some eggs, but won't need to buy some more off this bloke.
Yeah,
Or,
and some honey and some wicked butter,
Yeah.
some citrus products were unreal.
yeah. So, yeah, no, we love that side of it. Love it.
Now we've got another one of our super followers, Susie. So she goes by Susie Q and Falls. So her and her husband Al, they are actually from Niagara Falls in Canada,
Oh, wow.
and they join us for our COVID cooking class every week,
They get up at
No.
5 o'clock in the morning to watch them.
just to watch our class. They're incredible. But you've already answered their question, because Susie had said, as the king of pasta, what is your favourite Italian dish?
Italian dish,
So-
yeah, I suppose.
Oh, yeah. There's lots, you know. Look, let's be honest. There is a dish, obviously from Naples, and it's very close to the heart. It's called gnocchi sorrentino. So gnocchi in the nap sauce, the very fresh nap sauce, and then you put it into a little clay pot or some baking ware, and you put buffalo mozzarella on top, and you bake it. Yeah, so you get it gooey and crispy on top, and it's
Yeah.
by far so simple but so tasty.
Now, what's the gnocchi we're going to try and have a crack at? We're going to
We're going to do ricotta.
We're going to try
Oh, yeah.
a ricotta gnocchi. Have you got any
I've done it. but
tips for us?
So you're doing gnocchi or you're doing nudi?
no, gnocchi. I'd like to
Give Nudi
do.
a try. Give Nudi a try. I'm going to challenge her.
I don't know how to roll it though.
No, don't worry. Practice makes perfect.
Why don't you?
How many failures
Come
before you
and-
meant to get one right?
Come and see.
That took me a while. Don't worry. It's, you know,
You'd still be able to eat it though. It just wouldn't look right, wouldn't it? I mean, of course you could.
I'm sure it'll taste good. Don't worry about that. No, I mean, practice makes perfect, guys. You know what I mean? So,
As long as you enjoy the practice.
Ricotta gnocchi's yummo. Absolutely. Now, so I have a question for you. And that is, being the brand ambassador for such a big name as San Remo, and I didn't realise that the chicken came before the egg, that San Remo came before Ready Steady Cook. I always assumed that you must have been Ready Steady Cook, and San Remo came after that. So you've been doing it
San Remo first, yeah. Look, I'll be 100% honest with you. People don't understand how amazing corporation and company that San Remo is. You know, 100% Australian and SA owned, family owned, which is huge. You know what I mean? And what they do for the farmers in South Australia, obviously with the semola, the wheat to make the pasta, is unbelievable. You know what I mean? The extent and how they support them through obviously COVID and everything else, and the relationships they have is phenomenal. But for me personally, as a brand ambassador, I'm very fortunate. You know, I'm very fortunate. I really do feel humble working for them. You know, it's been a very, very amazing relationship, and it still keeps to grow. You know, there's some new pasta lines that I get that you guys will see probably in the next month or so coming up to the shelf, which is awesome. So I get all the new products and I get to play with them.
They're pulse pastas. I'm sorry to cut you off, but when you did the pulse pastas with Justine, and so I started buying them, and I don't need to because it's not a gluten thing for us. But geez, they're good.
Yeah, they taste good. Yeah.
It tastes good. And you know what? Yeah, it's freaking awesome for you. Obviously, you know, for everything, it's good for you. Obviously, GF and everything else. But what I do, obviously, with 2 young kids, is I squeeze it in once a week. They don't know, and they get all this extra fiber for, you know, which is really good for them. But it is a very, very good product because a lot of gluten-free pastas on the marketplace do seem to be the stodgy or fall apart. Do you know what I mean? And again, not because I am the ambassador, but no. Seriously, it's awesome.
It's hard to believe that it's not made traditionally, that it's using beans and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and not flour.
4 pulses. Yeah, 100%. It's phenomenal. Do you know what I mean? But what you get too, if you literally cook a packet and just do it in butter and cheese, and you get this beautiful nuttiness, this earthiness to it. So it has this beautiful taste as well, just simply like that. But yeah, I guess, look, I'm 12 years into my relationship with San Remo, and I have a very long-standing contract with them, and then I'm very happy to be obviously SA born and bred and be a part of the San Remo family. So it's nice.
It's huge.
So you actually didn't finish your question.
No, I didn't. So my thing is, do you feel pressure by having to come up with something innovative when they've got a new product coming up? Or do you just
Look, I'll be honest, I don't feel pressure. I think it's always looking at the product. Okay, so there's a new shape coming out, which you guys will see, which is very traditional to Italy. And for me, and this is how the relationship we have, I say, look, we got to keep the tradition here. And they totally understand that. So whatever sauce I make is traditional to the shape. Do you know what I mean? But things that might be pulse, it's new, it's innovative. So yeah, let's muck around. I did some crazy stuff probably 6 months ago. And I did some Mexican sauces, do you know what I mean? Like an avocado sauce with freaking chilies and all this stuff. But it's pretty crazy, do you know what I mean? But so I do have some fun like that as well. But I truly believe, and I guess it's, again, comes back to obviously my opportunity of traveling in Italy. When you get to taste the shapes into the regions and why those shapes are there and how it matches with those ingredients, you understand the pasta and you understand top quality pasta. And that's why I guess San Remo has all these shapes. And I guess where my position is to educate people that it's not always spaghetti, it's not always penne, that, you know, you got bucatini for the amatriciana. Do you know what I mean? You get farfalle, which is the bow ties, because it's typically done with pesto, you know what I mean? Like there's reasons how it clings to it. You use rigatoni because you're going to do it with a ragu. So that obviously the meat goes inside those shapes. So it's,
holding the sauce and your other ingredients.
100%, mate, 100%. So yeah, look, you know, sometimes, and then look, I have honest conversations, and I'll say, "Oof, well, I don't like this idea," or you know, this doesn't sit well in my part. But then they explain, obviously, the marketing side behind it and things like that. But look, you know, when you got a product that is amazing, and I say this honestly, and many times, I remember my first time, obviously, coming to my in-laws' family. My mother-in-law said to me, "Man, this San Remo pasta takes forever to cook." And I said, "Max, it's okay because it's good quality." Yeah, but it takes forever, and it doesn't fall apart. So that's because it shouldn't fall apart, because she's used to the other stuff falling apart on you. Do you know what I mean? And that's how they know it's ready. So
that's crazy.
Yeah.
So do you kind of wouldn't need to because of San Remo, but do you ever go fresh pasta? Like, do you ever? When was the last time you rolled out fresh pasta?
It's like, obviously, Mum, the gnocchi. So one of the gnocchis that we make is not with potato, but it's very peasant. It's just flour and water and salt. Yeah, it's again from Naples, and yeah, I make that with my kids, and I do that at a lot of cooking classes to educate people that literally.
Is that the hot one in the pan?
Yeah, no. So basically, what it is boiling water, flour, and salt. Yep. That's it, and you mix it, and you make a dough. Yeah, and then you literally just knead it, and you freeze it straight away, and then you cook it. But it's the peasant, because you got to understand, back in the times, the rich had eggs, the rich had butter, the rich had olive oil. The peasants had what? What did we have? We had some salt. We might have had running water. So we obviously traded for all these, different ingredients. So this is how it came about, yeah. And this is how my grandmother also taught me how to cook as well. So with minimal ingredients and what you could get your hands on.
Yeah, we love it. That's very champagne food on a beer budget.
Yeah.
We love that.
Exactly. Cook with what you've got. And, you don't need to have the high end. You don't need truffle menu.
Bloody French, they would like to use all the freaking duck fat and truffle. Come on, they overcomplicate shit. Jesus.
Exactly. We what's his name? Isn't that terrible? It's just gone from my head. From MKR again. Irish.
Colin.
God. Holy hell.
That bloke.
Yeah, I know, right? He was hanging some serious poo on Manu the other day. Just too far out there, and they love.
I think they're very good mates.
They had so much shit on that.
100%.
Yeah.
I think through any culture and obviously food, there's all similarities. Do you know what I mean? Like, obviously the French is, duck fat and truffle and things like that. The Italians use a lot of olive oil and parmesan. Greeks use still olive oil, but they use obviously oregano and feta. So there's all these similarities. Do you know what I mean? It's very similar.
What they've been brought up around and what's available to them in their culture.
Yeah, so, and I think, in Australia we're so young and we need to learn. Do you know what I mean? Yes, we have the opportunity to get all these amazing ingredients, but why? Why do we use certain ingredients with certain ingredients? Yeah, so let's not make it confusion, make it simple.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and do you think? How do you feel about people trying to infuse different cultures? Like using ingredients. Mixing a pasta with, I don't know, some Japanese.
Oh.
That's bizarre. Some people knock that. Go, we had a certain chef who go, I don't know whether I'm in Japan or Italia.
Yeah.
Who cares? Tell you, mate. We're a mixed culture.
I agree. We are 100%, and we're multicultural in Australia, 110%. But there's tradition for a reason, and that's how I've been brought up and what I believe in. And food should be kept to that in a certain extent. Of course, trial and error and experimentation is 100%. But it's tradition for me. Number one.
Yeah, if it stayed true for 100 years, well, then there's a reason for that. That's why the wheel works, because it works. So if you've got a recipe that's worked for 100 years, don't change that recipe. But there's nothing wrong with taking that recipe and maybe trying to create something different, not rewrite just try something different using some of its techniques or what have you.
Yeah.
I think it's fun playing. It's food.
And that's what we say to all our followers too. You know what? Just have a go. If it doesn't work, and if you don't particularly like it today, then save it for tomorrow. It's probably going to taste better. And if it's really bad, stuff it in a waffle. You know what I mean? In a jaffle, stick it between two slices of bread.
Feed it to the chickens, don't worry. Just feed it back to the chickens, don't worry.
Yeah. So, there's, I was going to say there's no such thing as a bad feed, but...
when you're cooking at home, it's different. Obviously you want to enjoy, you want to relax and take the time if you can. I know we're all, time poor, but just enjoy. Like you say, you make a mistake, okay? We'll try again. We think about it. All right, I didn't like that. Add something else. So it's
the way you learn.
Agreed.
Learn from your mistakes.
Exactly. So I have one last question. Fast forward. What do you say your daughter is? 11 now.
Yeah.
So fast forward. I'm going to go with 6 years, and she comes home and she says, "Dad, I'm going to be a chef." What do you say?
Are you ready for it? No fucking way.
Yeah. That's what Colin said too.
Nah. Like, I love the fact that she loves to cook and she bakes. She makes cakes from scratches. She does everything. 3 tiers, scones, whatever. she wake up some Sunday mornings, there's waffles being made fresh out the back, you know, she's on it. But I believe, look, I say that, I just want them to try anything. I mean, as long as they're happy in whatever they do, you know, like I had this conversation last night with a mate at the footy. I said, you know what? Yeah, I'm lucky enough to support them and put them in obviously a good school, but it's about opportunity. Whatever they want to do. If they want to become a hairdresser, I don't care. As long as they're happy. They want to become a butcher, I really don't care. As long as they're happy. And that's, I think, the world that we're currently living in is what we need to focus on.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, 100%.
Good answer. Yeah. Good answer.
No chefing, don't worry about that. Look, you know, I say for my sons a bit of different rules. I teach my son how to cook to impress the women. So that's it.
Ah, very good.
That's it. There you go.
There's that in dancing. If he becomes
we don't dance your ass. You forgot that.
Or you just cut out. Say that again.
I said giraffes don't dance. So, you know.
Oh, no. Oh, is he tall too?
Yeah. He's 13. He's probably sitting just around my shoulders. So he's a big boy.
He's going to be a big lad. Very good. Well, look, Adam, I think that we can probably let you go. That's been absolutely amazing. Thank you for hanging out with us for nearly an hour. It so flies, doesn't it?
It does. You know, it was really great chatting to you guys. And I wish, you know, all best of luck in Victoria and to all of Australia. I mean, like, you know, let's support each other and help each other out through this crazy time.
Absolutely,
yeah,
100%.
Cheers, mate.
And if we can get our Champagne Food on a Beer Budget TV show, like that's what we've been planning since I mentioned it already, Steady Cook 11 years ago. Will you please be a guest?
100%, no doubt.
Good, excellent.
Love to come over and do something. Maybe you could show us something with some chicken at one of your farms, and that'd be great.
Yeah, don't you worry about that.
Yeah,
excellent.
We love Australian farmers' produce, so that'd be fantastic.
Fantastic.
Now, did you want to ask whether he's caught up with a certain somebody at all?
With Manu?
No, the host of the show.
Hey, which show? Oh, have you caught up with Pete Everett?
Probably a few years ago. Again, when I first started in Sydney with the restaurant Lot One, Pete, I contacted him and he hosted our very first Melbourne Cup luncheon. So yeah, we had a ball. He's hasn't changed one bit.
Nah.
He's such a delightful human being. We were really lucky to have a chat with him.
We wanted to catch up with him just for 5 minutes. Just to say good day because of Jodie-Anne's journey and where it started and so forth.
Yeah.
2 hours later,
we're
still FaceTiming and chatting away. He's just such a happy, no different than he was on the show. Just happy, great bloke. Really
Our
good
fans
bloke.
love him as well, so I think we'll try and get him on at some stage because, he's just a lovely bloke.
He is, he is. He's a star, you know. Like when I first came on the show, he took me under the wing, you know. Again, took me out for a few dinners, you know, to show you around, and that's the warmth because TV can be pretty, you know.
It's brutal.
It is brutal.
So you know, when you find the real people, you stick with them.
Yeah.
It's very hard to find real friends in TV.
100%, mate.
Too true. Adam, thank you. Cheers.
Cheers, you.
Champagne Food on a Beer Budget. Absolutely. Cheers. And good luck with the chicken shop. And
we look forward to as soon as the borders are open, whether we fly or drive, we promise you we'll come over.
We'll come over and taste your feasts over there. And thank you. There's not much else I can say. Just thanks so much. Really appreciate it.
Really enjoyed a chat with you. It was a great chat.
Thanks, guys. Cheers.
Take care, mate. Thank you. Mate. Oh, well, how was that?
How was that, everyone?
Sorry I didn't get to the whole question list very well because, he answered everything for us. Yeah,
he's just very engaging, very easy to talk to.
Absolutely.
As you saw, it's all very relaxed, and they're the good ones, I suppose.
So I think, guys, I'd like some suggestions for people that you think I should reach out to, because we would really like to do one of these.
Well, only times people we like, by the way, because, you know.
So many people we don't like.
No, we get along with most.
Yeah. So if you think someone that's accessible, like, you know, I'd love to have, for my mum particularly, I would love to have Curtis Stone, but that's not going to happen.
Why not?
Because he's in America and,
you
know, he'd go Mickey Jodie-Anne who.
We chatted to him for ages.
We did.
I burnt my fingers because of him.
We did. Or if there's somebody that you know.
And he loved our baklava.
He did like our baklava.
There you go.
He's a very nice man, our Curtis Stone.
He did rolled baklava, if anyone remembers that one.
Yep.
Rolled
Very
baklava, anyone says?
Yeah.
That's because of the time constraint. That's why we did rolled baklava.
Rolled baklava. Yeah, so if there's someone that you want to see or anyone that you know that you would think may like to appear, please send us a message.
You might know someone who's happy to talk to us.
Exactly right. And we will try in the next 2 months to have another couple of guests as well. I just keep trying to, lift it up for you guys, because cooking every week's probably a little bit boring.
And we want to know whether you prefer these interviews every now and then, and or more of them, or more of our cooking, or we're always interested in what you guys want to do.
Keep us posted.
Next week's recipe, I think can we give hints on it? Are we locked in on that one?
Oh, we go on the vertical?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going, yep. Well, what's of a hint? We're going vertical.
Something that's normally horizontal is
Not
going
horizontal.
vertical. So think of all the things that you always make horizontal.
And
we're going to do some vertical.
We're turning it on its head.
And we think it's a pretty good idea.
It's a really good idea.
It is. I loved it.
Absolutely.
I actually don't think I'll go back.
Never going horizontal again.
I don't think so. I think it's a favourite.
You got to go horizontal sometimes.
No, I'm talking with this dish.
Oh, food. Of course. Sorry. Being silly. Yes, so join us next Wednesday at 8 o'clock Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time. And as I said, shoot us some messages about who you'd like to see, anyone that you know. Thank you again, guys, for your support. You're amazing.
Can I give a food hint for today?
Yeah.
Because I'm the basic cook. Twice this week, I've had me friends at Scoop and Way, where we got peanuts. And what were the other peanuts?
The Scoop and Way, the ones that we made the peanut butter out of.
Well, we made 2 types of peanut butter. I didn't know how easy it was to make peanut butter. If you just get good salted peanuts and put them into and make sure it's your
food processor,
your bigger food processor, and use patience and just let those little suckers oil up and chill up and get hot and grind up into a nice paste. It is the best peanut butter ever. I'm never buying peanut butter again.
But if you're in at Scoop and Way, and you get their salted caramel trio, which is almonds, cashews, and peanuts, you can make the best.
I don't know what you'd call it. This stuff makes Nutella boring, but it's sweet peanut butter. Have a look at this, guys. So I made this the other day.
Oh, yum! It's so good. You've got to go smooth though. You can't go crunchy.
No, there's no crunchy. Don't muck around crunchy.
And it's ridiculously good.
It's sweet, but salty and peanutty.
Yum.
It put the smile on my dial this week.
Thank you, Scoop and Way. Yummy stuff. So Mum said lasagna. No.
Smarty pants. Thinking of horizontal food.
So,
might have been chips. We might be making vertical chips.
Could be a cake.
Yeah, cake standing on there.
Yeah, but it's not. So, guys, we'll wind up. We'll say thank you once again. Again, we love your support, and we will catch you next Wednesday, so only 6 days away. Enjoy the coming weekend, and don't forget to give Adam Swanson a follow on his page too, Chef Adam Swanson. He's on.
And if anyone's in South Australia, go and check out that restaurant and let us know what it's like.
Oh yeah, hang on. I'll quickly put the.
We will put up a post about this.
Cheeky Chook Eats at Lockley's in South Australia. It's near the beach because he said.
I actually wanted to ask him a little bit more about what type of flavours to expect, but
he said he does the naughty southern fried chicken stuff, but otherwise it's all sort of fairly modern stuff.
And if you watch, he gave a few good hints about what to do that we stand by when we do chicken.
Yes, buttermilk,
soaking it, especially when you're doing a deep fry.
I tell you what I found interesting was the leave your chicken unwrapped for
in the fridge,
48 hours.
Just like a pork. That's what you do
perfect.
with a really good pork.
Yep.
Let it dry out as well. So yes, there's some good hints.
Absolutely. All right, so we will.
Good pasta hints too.
Yeah.
Oil. I've always put a little drizzle of oil, but I won't now because Adam said so.
There you go.
And he's the pasta king.
He's the pasta master. Excellent. All right, guys. Well, you take care, and wherever you're at, stay safe, and we'll be in touch soon. All right. Love you guys.
All right.
Take care.